This is video 406, Math 406. Today we're going to just talk about a couple of things to expand upon what we've already learned. The first thing we're going to talk about is our division with decimals, specifically with money. So let's say you've got two friends with you and y'all want to go in together and buy a pizza. Okay, so let's say the total cost of the pizza is going to be $12.50. That's with tax and everything. It'll be $12.50. And you want to divide that between the three of you equally. So how much would each of you have to pay? Well, that would be the way to figure this problem out. So we need to learn how in our math problems, how they have real practical solutions. It's very possible that you're going to have a sleepover with some friends one night and y'all are going to want to buy a pizza. And how much are you going to have to pay for that pizza? So the way you do this is you just take the number $12.50 and you're going to divide that by the three people. So we could put our little dollar sign here also. I guess we should do that so you can see that. Okay? So to do this, you just ignore the dollar sign and the decimal to start with and just do the problem as a regular division problem. So will 3 go into 1? No, 3 will not go into 1. Will 3 go into 12? Yes, it will go into 12. How many times? It'll go 4 times. So 4 times 3 is 12. Like I said, we're just ignoring this decimal for now. Okay, so we've got a 0 there. Okay, so we're going to bring down our 5. Okay, 3 will go into 5 how many times? Once. 1 times 3 is 3. We're going to subtract. We've got 2. We're going to bring down our 0. Now, 3 will go into 20 how many times? Well, 3 will go into 20. 6 times will be 18. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21. So 6 is the most it would go. 6 times 3 is 18. Then we subtract, and we've got a 2. Now, there's nothing else to bring down, so that would be our remainder. Okay? That would be our remainder, would be 2. Now, we've got our decimal. We bring the decimal up right there, and we could bring a dollar sign up there, and it would be $4.16, remainder 2. So what would happen is each person would pay $4.16, and there'd be 2 cents left over. So somebody would have to pay an extra penny, 2 pennies, you know. So that's how you do a problem with decimals, or in this case it's dollars, but you could just use it as decimals. Later you'll end up doing, you'll be doing fractions with decimals, and it's the same thing, you just wouldn't have the dollar sign. So that's a very practical use of knowing how to do this division. Let's do one more. Let's say there's 4 friends and you're going to buy 2 pizzas and it comes up to be $18.25. Okay? And we're going to divide that. Oh, let's make it, see if it'll come out. Let's make $18 even. And divide that by 4, and see what we can come up with. So 4 will go into, we won't go into 1, 4 will go into 18. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtract, and you've got 2. Bring down a 0. 4 will go into 20 5 times. 5 of that's 20. You subtract 0, you bring down your 0. Now you still had a 0 to bring down here. So 4 will go into 0 how many times? 0 times. Okay. Now you go 0 times 4 is 0, and you subtract, and there's nothing to bring down, so you don't need to go any further than that. That's as far as you need to go. But when we got to this point, let me erase this just a little bit. I went a little faster than maybe I should have here. When I went, okay, so what we did here is after we subtracted this and got 2 and brought down to 0, 4 went into 25 times. Now, slowly, 5 times 4 is 20. I'm going to subtract that and get 0. Well, 0 is less than the 4, but remember, we've still got another 0 to bring down here. So we need to bring this 0 down, and we put 4 will go into to 0, or 4 will go into 0 times. Okay? Now, the truth is you wouldn't have to have that 0. Later on you'll learn that, but for now it makes sense to put the 0 there. You can understand that. Remember our dollar sign, if we were using dollars, it would go there. We just bring our decimal straight up, and it would cost each person $4.50. And if you wanted to check that, you could go to 4.50 times the 4, and if you did that multiplication all out, you would come out with $18. It would work out to that. Okay. Okay. So now that's just a way to do decimals or dollars in division. So the next thing we're going to look at is averaging numbers. Now this is something we have not done before. This is a little bit new. It's kind of useful because what if you wanted to know what your grade in your math class is right now? Well, let's just pretend you have 4 assignments that you've completed, and or tests that you've completed, and let's say the test grades were you made an 80 on the first test. Let's say you made a 95 on the second test, a 90 on the third test, and we'll say a 92 on the fourth test. So let's say that's your grades for your math class right now. Well, what is your average? If it was time for report cards, or if it was the end of the semester, it was time for your grade, what grade would you have in math? Well, you can find that out by averaging these grades together. So to average something, you add all the numbers up together, and you divide by the number of add-ins that you had. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 grades. Okay, 4 grades altogether. So let's add up and see what our total, how many points we have with all these. We have 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to add 3 9s and an 8. So 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 9 is 27, plus 8 more will be 35. So all of this together is 357, but we're going to divide that by the 4. Because there's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 grades, and then that's how we're going to figure out what your average is. So 4 will go into, it will not go into 3, 4 will go into 35. How many times? 7 times, 8 times, 9, it won't go 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36, which would be bigger than 35. So it'll only go 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. We're going to subtract and get a 3. We're going to bring down our 7. Now, how many times will 4 go into 37? 4 will go into 37. It'll go to 6, 7, 8, 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. And it'll be a remainder. So you've got an 89 with a remainder of 1 of, I've just picked some random grades here. Normally in an average, you wouldn't use a remainder, we would use a decimal. But that's very close to what your grade would be an 8. That's how you find the average. In this situation, later on, you'll learn to use a decimal there. So, but that's average. Let's try another one. So let's do, let's say you're running a race, and how long does it take you to run the race? Well, let's say the first time you ran it, it took you 2 minutes, and the next time it took you 4 minutes, and the next time it took you 3 minutes, and the next time it took you 5 minutes. Maybe you were a little slower that day, and then we'll say one day you did it really fast and you did it in 2 minutes again. Well, you could add those numbers up. You divide it by the number, and you would know how many minutes it took you. These are based on minutes. So you add those up first. 2 plus 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All that added together is 16. Now, what are we dividing that by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 16 divided by 5. And whatever answer you come up with, that would be your average. Okay, and here again, that's not going to come out to be an even number. So let's pick one that's going to be an even number, because on your assignment, you're going to have things that will come out to be even numbers. So let's pick 20, 25, 15, and another 20. Okay, so let's take these four numbers here. And let's say these are the number of minutes you spent doing homework each day. So we could say these were minutes here. So on Monday, you spent 20 minutes on homework. Tuesday, you spent 25 minutes. Let's say you skipped Wednesday, maybe you had church or something Wednesday, you didn't get to do any homework on Wednesday, or you didn't have any on Thursday. Our policy here is we try not to give homework on Wednesdays, Thursday, and then Friday. So these are the number of minutes you've spent doing homework or studying each night. Okay? Now, so we want to know, on average, how many minutes do you spend per night studying? Well, some nights you do obviously more than you do other nights, but what's the average that you do? So what you do is you add these up. 5 and 5 is 10. Carry our 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 80. So there's 80 minutes. That's how much time you've spent, but we divide that by the number of days that you studied. 1, 2, 3, 4. Divide that by 4. Well, will 4 go into 8? Yes, it will. How many times? 2. 2 times 4 is 8. We subtract 0, but we've got a 0 to bring down, so we have to keep going. Because if not, we would just say you had 2 minutes. That wouldn't work. So you have to bring this 0 down. Since it's here, 4 will go into 0 times. Okay, then 0 times 4 is 0. Now it equals 0, and there's nothing to bring down. So 20 minutes. You averaged spending 20 minutes a night studying. So that's how you find the average. You just add up the numbers and divide by the number of entries that you had. So, one more thing I want to talk about in this video, and here again, this is covering your week's worth of assignments. So if you want to pause this and do some assignments on averaging while that's fresh on your mind, you can do that, or you can finish watching this. Multiplying, we talked in another video earlier in, I believe it was video 403, I believe, but somewhere we talked about multiplication. In this video, I want to show you multiplication again, but I want to show you that you can do 3 digits by 3 digits. We only did 2 digits by 3 digits, or 2 digits before. So, for example, we could have 247, and we want to multiply that by 138. Those are some big numbers to deal with. But anyway, so how do we do this? We do it the same way we did with 2 digits, except it's going to add 1 extra step. So let's go 8 times 7 is 56. So you put your 6, you carry your 5. 8 times 4 is 32, but we have to add that 5 to it, so that's going to be 37, and we're going to carry a 3. 8 times 2 is 16, plus the 3 makes 19. Okay, so that's our first number. Now, we're going to use our 3. We need to multiply all of this by our middle number 3, but that's in our tens place. So we've got to put our 0, or 0 not our ones place, as our placeholder for that one. And remember, I think it's best to go ahead and just erase these numbers here, because they're going to get confusing, especially if you go into 3 digits. So we're going to start with our 3. 3 times 7 is 21. We put our 1, and we carry our 2. 3 times 4 is 12. We have to add the 2, makes 14. We carry our 1. So we put our 4 there, carry 1. Now 3 times 2 is 6 plus the 1 is 7. Okay, so now we have that. So again, I'm going to erase these numbers since I'm through with that, because I'm going to do the same thing with the 1. I have to multiply all of this by the 1. But to do that, I have 2 places to fill up, so I'm going to put 2 zeros, 1, 2. And I'm going to start the 1 there because it's in the hundreds place, and that's in our hundred places where we're starting with now. So 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. And then you would add all of that together, and that would give you your answer of these 2 large numbers multiplied together. That would be 6, that would be 8, 20, is that right? 9 plus 7, 16 plus 4 is 20. 0, we're going to carry the 2, and then we have 2, 3, plus the 7 makes 10. Plus the 4 is 14, we'll put a 4, we're going to carry the 1, and that'll be 3. Okay, and then we want to go through to our comma, because this is a really big number, so we can read easier and notice that it's 34,086. Okay, let me show you one more of those, and we'll be through. One more problem. $852, and we're going to go, I'm going to put another number there too. Okay, you're not going to have probably any like this to do, but just to show you, and I'm going to put 1,231. So 8,520, 1,231. So we're going to multiply these together. Okay, we're going to start with our 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 8 is 8. Now, we're going to do the same thing with the 3, but I'm going to put a 0 for a placeholder there, because that's our 1's place we're not doing anything with, so we're starting our 10's place. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15, so I'll put my 5 and I'll carry my 1. 3 times 8 is 24, plus the 1's 25. There's nowhere to carry it to, so now I can put my 25 there. All right, now remember, I'm going to go back and I'm going to erase that 1 so we don't get confused. Now, I'm going to do the 2, I'm just going to put 2 placeholders. 1, 2, because I'm skipping those 2 numbers, I'm starting there. So 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 5 is 10, I put the 0, carry the 1. 2 times 8 is 16, plus the 1 is 17. And then I'm going to do the 1 the same way. So I have to put 3 placeholders, 1, 2, 3. I'm skipping those 3 numbers and going to that one, so I have to put 1, 2, 3. And then I would take the 1 and I would distribute it, I would 1 times 0, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 8 is 8. And then I would add all of that up, and that would give me the answer to this, which would be a very large number. 0, 2, 5 times 6 is 11. I carry my 1. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'll put my 8. I'll carry my 1. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll put my 8 there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'll put my 4 there. I'll put my 1 there. 1, 2, and 8 is 10. There's nowhere to carry it to, so I just put the whole 10 there. Now, when I see a number that big, I've got to put my commas, or I won't have any idea how to read it. So I get 3 numbers and a comma, 3 numbers and another comma, and there's my number. What is that? 10,488,120. So that's how you multiply big numbers. You can put any number here, multiply them. You just have to make sure you put the right placeholders each time you add a number. So that is how you multiply more than 2 digits in mathematics.